Men, let's be real. Women never truly appreciate your presence until they have to deal with your absence. You might think she likes having you around, but the real test of her feelings isn't when you're right in front of her. It's when you're not. And that's what we're breaking down today. Today, we're diving into what a woman actually feels when you're not around. And trust me, it's not as simple as she just misses you. Her emotions shift, her mindset changes, and depending on who you are as a man, she either starts craving you more or slowly starts replacing you in her mind. See, modern dating has conditioned men to believe that constant attention is necessary to keep a woman interested. That's a lie. In reality, the space you create by stepping away, whether intentionally or not, determines whether she respects you or sees you as another disposable option. Here's the truth. When you're absent, a woman goes through a mental and emotional process that tells you everything you need to know about her true level of interest. Some women will feel a deep sense of longing, others will experience uncertainty, and some won't feel much at all, which is also a message in itself. But most men never realize this because they're too busy chasing, over-explaining, or trying to fix something that isn't even broken. So today, we're going to break it all down. I'll walk you through the 7 key things a woman feels when you're absent, how to recognize them, how to use them to your advantage, and most importantly, how to maintain control in your relationships. Let's get into it. 1. She questions your value. When you step back, a woman is forced to confront a simple but uncomfortable question. Was he actually worth my time? Women don't just miss a man because he's absent. They miss a man when his presence added something valuable to their lives. If you were just another guy texting her non-stop, validating her every move, or making yourself overly available, your absence won't create any real emotional impact. But if you were a man who brought leadership, excitement, and a sense of security, the moment you're gone, she starts feeling that gap. At first, she may not even realize it. She'll carry on like nothing happened, still enjoying the attention from other guys, still busy with her life. But as time passes, something shifts. She starts questioning why she even liked you in the first place. Was it his confidence, his ambition, the way he made me feel? These thoughts creep in, and suddenly she's analyzing your value in a way she never did before. This is where things get interesting. If you were a man who always stood his ground, maintained his standards, and made her earn your attention, she'll start to feel your absence like a void. She'll realize that other men aren't measuring up. That excitement, that presence, that masculine energy, it's missing. And once a woman feels that loss, she starts craving it. But on the flip side, if you were too available, too eager, or too focused on keeping her happy, she won't feel much at all. She may even feel relieved, confirming that you weren't as valuable as she once thought. Let's take a common situation. A guy dates a woman for a few months, always putting in effort, always making time for her. She enjoys it, but never fully appreciates it. One day he pulls back, less texting, less availability, more focus on his own life. At first, she doesn't care. Then a week goes by. Then 2. She sees him out, handling his business, looking unbothered. Suddenly, she's the one questioning her position in his life. That's when his value skyrockets. This is why absence is powerful. It forces a woman to see you clearly, either as a man she truly values or one she can easily forget. A high-value man understands this. He doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't chase. He lets his presence be a privilege, not an expectation. And when a woman starts questioning your value, that's when she realizes she may have lost something she can't easily replace. That's the difference between a man she forgets and a man she respects. 2. Her ego takes a hit. A woman may act like she doesn't care when you pull away, but make no mistake, her ego notices. Women are used to being chased. They're used to men constantly trying to impress them, win them over, or at the very least, check in to see how they're doing. So when you go silent, when you stop feeding that attention loop, she starts feeling it. Not in her heart just yet, but in her ego. At first, she might brush it off. Oh, he must be busy. He'll text me soon. But then hours turn into days and days turn into a week. That's when the confusion kicks in. Why isn't he reaching out? See, in today's dating world, most men operate out of fear. Fear of losing her. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of her finding someone else. That's why they keep checking in, liking her posts, or sending those pointless, "Hey, how's your day?" texts, just to stay relevant. But a man who understands his value doesn't do that. He knows that his attention is the reward. And when he removes it, a woman feels it. Because suddenly, she's not the one in control anymore. Now, here's the key. When a woman's ego takes a hit, she won't always show it. Instead of reaching out directly, she might start posting more on social media, dressing up a little extra, or suddenly engaging with guys she previously ignored. But don't be fooled. This isn't about them. It's about you. She wants to see if you'll notice, if you'll react, if she still has that grip on you. Take this scenario. A guy and a woman have been talking consistently. She enjoys the attention but isn't fully investing in him. One day, he stops texting first. At first, she shrugs it off, but after a few days, she starts subtly testing, viewing his stories, liking an old post, even mentioning his name in a group chat just to see if he responds. She doesn't miss him yet, she misses the validation. And when he doesn't bite, that's when the ego hit turns into real frustration. A man who can resist the urge to chase is a man who forces a woman to confront her own insecurity. And once she starts wondering why you're not acting like the rest, she's already playing your game, not hers. 3. She feels a power shift. Women are used to being in control when it comes to dating. They know that most men will do anything to keep their attention. Text first, double text if ignored, and constantly try to impress them. That's the dynamic most guys accept without even realizing it. But the moment you step back, that power dynamic starts to shift. At first, she doesn't think much of it. She assumes you'll be back, that you'll eventually reach out, that you're just playing hard to get. But then time passes, and nothing happens. That's when she starts feeling something she's not used to, uncertainty. And let's be honest, women don't like uncertainty when they believe they had control. See, in most cases, a woman walks into a situation knowing she has options. She assumes she can replace you easily. But when you remove yourself without explanation, without begging, without trying to check in, you're forcing her to acknowledge something uncomfortable. Maybe I wasn't as important to him as I thought. This realization doesn't sit well with her. It makes her question the entire situation. Was she the one being pursued, or was she actually the one chasing? And here's where it gets interesting. The more she feels that loss of control, the more her mind starts obsessing over it. Because let's be real, women are not used to being the ones left wondering. They are used to being pursued, to having options, to feeling like they are in control of the emotional pacing. But when a man flips that script, when he chooses not to engage, he disrupts the entire game. Suddenly, she's the one checking her phone. She's the one feeling frustrated. She's the one asking herself, why isn't he acting like the rest? And the more she thinks about it, the more her emotions get involved. This is why self-control is powerful. When you refuse to act desperate, when you refuse to feed into the cycle of validation-seeking behavior, you position yourself as a man who chooses where his attention goes. And that is what makes a woman rethink everything. Because at the end of the day, attraction is not about always being present. It's about knowing when to step back and let her feel the shift in power. And once she does, she'll either come back on your terms, or she'll reveal that she never valued you in the first place. Either way, you win.